Almost every other week, I come across headlines like this that make me really uneasy.
Fake medicines have been seized. Fake life-saving cancer medicines.
Police in Delhi have made more than 350 arrests for fraud.
India's fake medicine epidemic.
Samples of over 53 drugs have been declared as not of standard.
These are not isolated incidents. Reports suggest that as many as 25 to 30% of drugs in India could be counterfeit. And to put this into perspective, this means every 1 in 3 medicines you pick from your local pharmacy could be ineffective or worse, dangerous. And it's not just small-time manufacturers. Even some of the biggest names in the industry like Sun Pharma, Torrent, Glenmark, Alkem, etc. have been caught up in this. But how could this happen? How could some of the most respected names in India's pharma sector get dragged into scandals involving fake or substandard medicines? And what is the government even doing to fix this issue? If you have all these questions, you're in the right place because in this episode of FinShots TV, we're going to break down exactly that. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's take it from the top. India's pharmaceutical industry is a wonder in itself. It is often hailed as the pharmacy of the world because we are known to export affordable, high-quality medicines to over 200 countries. The industry is worth $50 billion and accounts for nearly 60% of the global vaccine production. But beneath this success, there's a growing underbelly of fake drugs. Like I mentioned earlier, reports show that close to 25 to 30% of drugs in India may be fake, counterfeit, or substandard. Before we move further, let me clear up the difference between these. Fake drugs have no active ingredients at all and could contain harmful chemicals. Imagine taking something you believe could be life-saving but is nothing more than just starch, or in some cases worse, and could have toxic substances. Next come counterfeit drugs, which are designed to look exactly like legitimate products but are produced by unlicensed manufacturers. They often contain wrong or harmful ingredients and are sold in packaging that mimics the real thing. And there's another category called NSQs. This stands for non-standard quality. They come from legitimate manufacturers but fail to meet the necessary quality standards. They may have insufficient potency or may be contaminated. Essentially, they're not delivering the therapeutic benefits that are promised. The thing is, this issue isn't just a grand financial fraud. It's actually claiming lives. People are eating sugar pills or talcum powder in the name of life-saving medicines. And it's not just small-time operators or black market dealers at fault. Earlier this year, drugs from top companies like Sun Pharma, Torrent, Alkem and Glenmark were flagged for not being of standard quality. They were termed as NSQ by the government. When questioned, all these top pharma companies denied that they were involved in manufacturing of this substandard medicine. But then, how did they even end up there? One reason could be the fragmented nature of the pharma supply chain in India. Many pharmaceutical companies outsource production to smaller third-party manufacturers to cut costs and scale up faster. Unfortunately, some of these small units cut corners or operate with little oversight. Worse yet, counterfeit drugs often infiltrate the supply chain undetected and they are mixed with legitimate medicines. These hubs are churning out billions of tablets that are counterfeit or fake. That's just because of the limited regulation and enforcement in India. Bad actors are able to exploit the system and fake drugs are seeping into the pharmacies nationwide. The impact is already being felt. Pharma companies that once enjoyed steady double-digit growth are now facing an uphill battle. The Indian pharmaceutical industry was once considered as one of the fastest growing in the world. They were growing at a rate of around 10 to 12% annually. But recently, things have started to look very different. Growth has slowed down to a tepid 5 to 6% as seen between May and September 2024. This is a sharp dive from the double-digit growth of the previous years. What's worse is most of the recent growth has been attributed to price hikes and not increased product sales volume. Pharma companies are arguing that this is because of the fake and counterfeit drugs. They are eating into their profits. People are buying these substandard products instead of genuine medicines made by these companies, and this is impacting their growth and profits. Pharma companies don't want to take this lying down either, so they've started nudging the government to crack down on this menace. In August alone, regulators conducted a crackdown that flagged medicines from over 50 brands as being below potency standards. Additionally, there are talks of mandating QR codes on drug packaging to help track authenticity, especially for life-saving drugs like cancer medicines. But this is not enough. Even pharma companies realize this. That is why the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance, or IPA, which is an association of the top 23 pharma companies in India, has filed a petition with the Supreme Court urging the court to empower police and drug inspectors to investigate those suspected of manufacturing counterfeit drugs. Well, the thing is, at the moment, police does not have a lot of power in these cases. That's because of a 2020 Supreme Court ruling that limited their ability to prosecute counterfeit drug manufacturers. The ruling was made because the court wanted investigation in these matters to be done by specialized authorities rather than the police. But we all know India. Expecting to build a specialized enforcement agency in this issue, that too in a short period of time, is close to impossible. Reports show that drug inspectors in India lack the training and protection needed to effectively combat this issue, and as a result, counterfeiters are operating with impunity. Limited manpower, underfunded enforcement, and outdated regulations have made it nearly impossible to keep up with the sheer scale of the counterfeit drug trade. But counterfeit and fake drugs are not just a business problem, they are a public health crisis. Millions of people rely on these medicines every single day. And while Big Pharma and the government are finally waking up to the threat, much more needs to be done to ensure that what's prescribed to save lives isn't doing the exact opposite. Thank you for watching FinShots TV. Let us know what you think about this video in the comments. See you on the other side.